Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at what Lloyd's perfect match might look like in terms of a romantic relationship. This video will very much be diving into the shipping community of Ninjago, and if you're not a fan of that shipping community, I apologize. We're going to be diving in head first here by taking a look at two matchups for Lloyd and determining which one would make for a better partner. Now obviously, just a quick disclaimer, everything that we're going to be discussing in this video is strictly my own opinion, so don't get too mad at me in the comment section. And also, no, Lloyd does not need a love interest to stay relevant or to have an actual character. I'll be exploring that more later on in the video as well. For those of you guys commenting, well, technically Lloyd doesn't need a love interest. I know. We're going to be discussing that later on as well. But for the time being, let's go ahead and discuss our two matchups here that we have for Lloyd. In one corner, we have Akita, and in the other corner, we have Harumi. We're going to be going ahead and talking about what works and doesn't work regarding these two love interests for Lloyd, and I'm going to be giving my personal thoughts on them. Let's go ahead and get started here. So in terms of Akita, why don't we start with her? In terms of the history between Akita and Lloyd, it's a little new, I'd say. It's a little bit fresh, a little bit more, I guess, new as opposed to Lloyd and Harumi's relationship. But essentially, Akita and Lloyd met in the Never Realm, while Akita was in her wolf form and Lloyd was just kind of traveling the realm aimlessly in search of Zane. Akita unknowingly decided to help Lloyd while also not revealing her true form. Once Akita's true form was revealed to Lloyd, there was immediately tension between the two, as Lloyd and Akita are very much both stubborn in nature, and they also don't really care for one another, I guess, in this current moment in time. Kind of confusing, but essentially Lloyd was kind of mad at Akita for lying to him about her true form, but they soon became friends and soon became allies, understanding each other very vividly and helping each other in their own personal tasks. At the end of the day, Akita and Lloyd became very good friends, and before Lloyd got sent out back to Ninjago, Akita gave Lloyd a goodbye kiss, which caused myself and a lot of other Ninjago fans to squeal with joy, as Lloyd was indeed set up for another potential relationship. So in terms of Akita and Lloyd being a couple, what works and what doesn't work? In terms of what works, I find their chemistry to be their strongest attribute in terms of their relationship. I think Lloyd and Akita could very much make for a very cute and wholesome couple if that were to happen at some point in Ninjago's future, but I feel like that has to do with, again, their personalities when they clash and when they connect. In terms of the opposites attract thing, I feel like these two are very similar in nature, so I don't really feel like the opposites attract thing actually works out here, unless you're talking about, I guess, physical abilities, in which case, yeah, a shapeshifter and an elemental master, definitely not in the same ballpark here. But in terms of, again, their stubbornness, their adventure-seeking personalities, I think that they connect on a deeper level as opposed to just simply being friends. I think if Ninjago really wanted to explore this relationship between Akita and Lloyd, it could very much work out just because of how their personalities click. They're very cute with each other, like I said, very wholesome relationship that we could potentially be seeing here, but in terms of what doesn't work, basically everything else. Akita and Lloyd exist in two different realms. Akita is from the Never Realm, Lloyd is from Ninjago. The Never Realm is very hard to get to and very difficult to navigate. Obviously, getting to and visiting Akita from time to time would not be in Lloyd's best interest. It's very, very difficult. And I've heard a couple of people in the community mention how Akita and Lloyd basically have a sibling relationship and not so much a romantic one, which I could totally get behind. I could totally see them being more siblings in terms of how they tease each other and just how playful they are with one another. In terms of a relationship, I'm not sure if these two have the most amount of potential, just because, again, their locations are basically different, and I feel like the Ninjago staff is leaning more towards these guys being friends, or, like I said earlier, kind of like a sibling-esque relationship. The only thing that suggested otherwise was the little kiss that Akita gave to Lloyd at the very end of season 11, but honestly, that could basically mean anything. It could be romantic, but it also could be like a, oh, thanks for saving my realm type scenario, which totally could have been a thing. But in terms of whether or not I could see them together, I think personally they could totally work it out if they really wanted to. If the series really wanted to make Akita and Lloyd a couple, I think they very well could. Unfortunately, Akita has not been seen since season 11, so the actual likeliness of these two being a canon couple is very unlikely. Not so likely. In fact, I'm willing to bet that it's never going to happen, though I would very much like it to. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, we have Harumi, Lloyd's original love interest, if you want to call her that. Now, Harumi's history with Lloyd is very rocky. They were first introduced to each other within Season 8, Sons of Garmadon, where Lloyd kind of instantly began crushing on Harumi, and Harumi seemed to return the favor. Ultimately, though, we all know what happened. Harumi was simply using Lloyd in order to get to the third Oni mask in order to revive his father, Lord Garmadon, and Lloyd was basically, I guess, exiled by Harumi, never to be kissed again, which is very unfortunate unit. Fortunately for Harumi, she would indeed redeem herself later on in Season 9 by saving a child from her same fate and actually helping them as opposed to creating another version of herself. Lloyd and Harumi shared one last look of recognition before a building promptly crushed Harumi, killing her instantly. Afterwards, Lloyd would experience a lot of scenarios where he clearly was not over Harumi. Those would most definitely be seen in Seasons 11, 12, and 13. In Season 11, Harumi was still on Lloyd's mind as he was constantly complaining to Akita about her, much to Akita's dismay. In Season 12, Lloyd ended up having to face off against a digital version of Harumi in the world of Prime Empire. Now granted, this was not the exact same Harumi, but seeing her again definitely messed Lloyd up internally, and in Season 13, Lloyd immediately had suspicions of Princess Vanya because the last time they helped out a princess, that being Harumi, it didn't really work out all that well, and Harumi ended up betraying them, so obviously Lloyd is still not over Harumi, possibly even to this day. In terms of what works and what doesn't work about these guys, let's go ahead and talk about what actually works between these two. I feel like these two definitely have a lot of potential. Harumi could have very well left Season 9 feeling betrayed and, hurt by her own actions, and perhaps Lloyd could have helped her out with that. I could totally see these two growing together as characters and eventually developing a real relationship. It's clear that Lloyd felt something for Harumi at first, but it's also clear that Harumi at the end felt something real for Lloyd. At least in my opinion it was. In terms of what doesn't work, Harumi's dead. That's basically what doesn't work about this scenario. Harumi cannot be in a relationship with Lloyd because a building crushed her, and she's probably not coming back. There have been several people that work on the show that confirm that no, Harumi is dead. She's not coming back. She is a deceased character within the canon of the show, never to be seen again, unless it's a digital form like in Prime Empire. So that's basically what doesn't work. I could totally see them working out though, once again, if Harumi would have still been alive after Season 9. She could have gone through some type of, mental help, and Lloyd could have totally helped her out with that too, in terms of developing Harumi and getting her on the right track. I totally feel like Lloyd could definitely be there for Harumi, and the two of them could have eventually met up and perhaps even started up a real relationship once everything was all fixed within Harumi's mind, and probably after she served a very long jail time sentence for all of her crimes towards Ninjago. Could I see them together? Absolutely. Will they be together? Most definitely not, because Harumi's dead, like I said, and Lloyd is still just moving on with his life. Still haunted by Harumi's actions, and obviously he's still not over her, but clearly Harumi is not going to be coming back to Ninjago anytime soon, especially not to start up a relationship with Lloyd. Now, in terms of the question, does Lloyd indeed need a love interest? In my opinion, no, he does not. I think Lloyd as a character is very strong on his own. He definitely prioritizes his friends and being a ninja as opposed to prioritizing a romantic relationship, and I don't feel like Lloyd needs a love interest to be a relevant character. Not every character needs one. Do the majority of the ninja have a love interest? Yeah. But Lloyd does not need one in order to function as a character. Lloyd has been shown to, like I said, prioritize his friends and his ninja duties, and Ninjago in general, he's not going to go ahead and decline all of that for a relationship. He's essentially married to his job. So no, I don't feel like Lloyd needs a love interest. Not every character needs one, though if they introduced a third character down the line that could potentially be a love interest for Lloyd, I don't think a lot of Ninjago fans would be disappointed. I mean, sure, it didn't work out the first two times, but who knows? Maybe it could always work out the third time. Who's to say? There have been a couple of other characters that people ship Lloyd with, some of those being Kai or Nia. I personally don't see either of those two working out in my opinion, but that's just me. I feel like out of all the existing characters, if anybody had the potential to be in a relationship with Lloyd, it would be Akita, just because she's still around and she's not dead to our knowledge, and I feel like their relationship already is working out to an extent. But yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts on this. I think that out of Harumi or Akita, I think that Akita would be the better match for Lloyd in this scenario. I know there are a lot of Lloyd and Harumi shippers out there, and as much of a fan as I am of that ship, it's probably not going to happen because Harumi is dead. In terms of Lloyd and Akita, could totally work out. I would love to see what happens in the future with these two people. They're probably never going to see each other again. Knowing how Ninjago operates and how they treat the side characters, yeah, Akita's probably not coming back. But I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Let me know down below in the comments who you think is the best match for Lloyd. Is it Akita? Is it Harumi? Or is it somebody entirely different that we didn't mention in this video? Leave all your thoughts down below, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you all so much for watching this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.